Do you like horror films, and please tell me why?
Yeah, I really like horror films because I like looking at all like the special effects and stuff, and I like how creative they are with some of the deaths. And I know it's probably going to sound a bit sadistic, but some of them I like watching because they're just sometimes it's good to see like a really bad guy like get his just desserts and like get killed.
Yeah.
And it's just quite satisfying.
What do you associate with horror films?
Lots of guts and gore for me because I like that kind of thing. Like something like really squeamishy stuff that'll make you like shield your eyes and be like, oh god, that's gross. Scares, jumping out, monsters. Usually like really like dark, creepy locations and stuff.
What type of horror creature frightens you the most, and why?
Oh gosh. I think just like an everyday serial killer because, you know, it happens. It happens quite often, more than it should. There's something quite terrifying about like a human doing like stuff like that and being capable of the things that go on in these horror films.
What character traits would you like to see in the main character, and why?
I quite like when the main character's like a bit nerdy, like a bit of a social outcast, because I can relate to that. But I don't like when they're like really cowardly, because it just won't work in that kind of situation. But I also don't get when they're overly brave,
Yeah.
because
Which I did.
it's just a bit too much to like suddenly go from like an everyday life to, oh, there's this thing jumping out at me, I'm going to save the day. It's a bit more like just run and get away while you can.
Yeah. In your opinion, what gender do you think the main character should be in a horror?
Well, most of the ones I've seen, I think I'd say that the main character's been male, so maybe a female one to like switch up a bit, and also to like, because most of the horror films that have a female lead character, the female at some point or another has been weak or stupid or like tripped over when she's running and there's nothing there, and it's I want a chance for like females to get their moment of badassery.
We're producing a zombie trailer, so what kind of locations do you think would suit our genre?
You need somewhere like every day, like a school or like a shopping centre, because you often see like them being deserted or like trashed, and you'd probably see like people hiding out in like places like safe locations, like people seeking shelter in a church or in a car park or something.
How do you feel about zombie films?
I really like zombie films, but I don't watch that many of them. But when I do, they're usually really good. I don't know, there's just something really classic about them, like it's proper old school zombies. And I just think, yeah, no matter what you do, like you can always rely on a zombie film to like give you a good scare, or just in general be a fairly good movie.
Yeah. What do you think a zombie should look like?
It creeped me out, but I personally, whenever I think of a zombie, I think of like those zombies that have like been in fights and like they've got bits missing and like they've just decayed to the point where they're walking and like their arm will fall off, and like they've got cracks in the skull and gross stuff. But like I also think it's quite good when you've got a zombie that looks a bit more human. Like you can still tell they're dead and they're still pretty disgusting, but like at first you might mistake them for being human, and then you realise that they're a zombie, and it creates a bit more panic. It's a bit more dramatic.
Yeah. Well, thank you for answering my questions.
You're welcome.
Do you like horror films, and why?
I don't need to say that. Not really. I don't really find them interesting, to be honest. 'Cause I prefer films with lots of explosions.
Nothing really scary anymore. Sort of reused. Nothing new. Jumpy. So, no.
What do you associate with horror film?
Paranormal activity.
I don't know.
Murders.
Jump scares, gore, violence.
What type of horror creature frightens you and why?
The girl off the ring. Little kids wearing gowns with their hair over their face.
That's the one that comes out the well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that is quite scary, actually. She's quite a freaky person. Saw and Dude with a big chainsaw, he's quite scary.
What character traits would you like to see in the main character and why?
Some common sense.
It's the main character that killed, or
Like the hero.
or the hero. Not stupidity, because half of them are retarded in films, and that's quite annoying. So common sense would be a key trait, I'd say. Yeah. What would you say,
I'd
Matt?
say some sure footing, because they always seem to fall over when they're running away.
In your opinion, what gender do you think the main character should be in a horror?
Male.
We're producing a zombie trailer. What locations do you think would suit the genre?
Russia. Why?
Pretty much like an apocalypse already, isn't it?
What about like urban environment? That's what it'd be more zombies, wouldn't it?
Yeah, rural environments are cooler. Like on a farm.
But there's not
Land of the
zombies.
Dead or-
Usually there's zombies and lots of zombies. So I say urban environment.
In,
It's in a zombie in a rural area, a more deep, dark, scary place for them to come from.
In an urban area, they could hide in a shadow.
You've got streetlights.
There's some apocalypse. People are going to be set in a power station.
The zombies might be running it.
Okay, next question.
how do you feel about a zombie film?
I like them.
I like zombie films a lot. They're the
It-
best.
What do you think a zombie should look like?
I don't know, half-eaten, covered in blood,
Rotten
rotting.
flesh. Maybe like a bit of his skin missing so you can see his jaw.
That's a good idea.
Do you like horror films and why?
I do like horror films, and it's because they never follow the same story and they're very creative.
What do you associate with horror films?
Scary stuff, like ghosts and zombies and stuff.
What type of horror creature frightens you the most and why?
Probably the zombies, because it's most out of all the horror creatures, it's most likely to happen.
What character traits would you like to see in the main character and why?
The main character, I want them to be brave and not stupid, because the stupid ones really, really aggravate.
What gender do you think the main character should be and why?
Females, because that seems to attract a lot of attention, so... And it's funny if they just die. Funny.
What locations do you think would suit a zombie horror film?
Probably in main cities where there's... Because it's stupid if it's in the countryside, because no one lives in the countryside other than farmers, so it's just stupid. It should be in cities where there's more deaths.
How do you feel about zombie films?
Well, some of them are really, really stupid and boring and unrealistic, but I like, World War Z. That's a good film. That's a good zombie film.
What do you think a zombie should look like?
Not what they look like in whatever that film is. That Romeo and Juliet zombie film.
Wombats.
They shouldn't look like that because they don't look like that. They look gruesome and deformed and smelly. You can look smelly.